Imagine standing in a vast, echoing tomb where the air tastes metallic, like blood dried on ancient stone, and the shadows cling to your skin like forgotten regrets. The silence presses in, broken only by a voice that isn't quite human, revealing a plan centuries in the making. This is the chill that grips you in Episode 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, released on January 15, 2026, as the aftermath of Shibuya's carnage gives way to something far more insidious. A game designed not for glory, but for the forced rebirth of humanity itself. It's like opening Pandora's box, only to find the evils inside were invited by someone who has been pulling strings since the dawn of history. Do you feel that pull already? The urge to step deeper into the darkness, to understand why sacrifice feels inevitable? I did. And once you watch, you won't be able to look away. In the shadowed depths of the Tombs of the Star, Yuji Itadori, Megumi Fushiguro, and their allies confront Master Tengen, an immortal entity more cursed spirit than human. What follows is no battle, but a revelation. The Culling Game's rules laid bare, Kenjaku's centuries-old scheme to merge Tengen with all of Japan, awakening cursed energy in millions only to cull them in ritual violence. A flicker of hope emerges in Hana Kurusu, the vessel for the ancient sorcerer angel, whose technique alone can free Satoru Gojo from the prison realm. Yet she is trapped within the game itself. The episode transitions from Shibuya's raw grief, like a battlefield after the Trojan War, strewn with the fallen, to a calculated nightmare, where survival demands entering a deadly arena. It's not the chaos you expect, but the cold logic behind it that lingers, whispering, what would you do to save the ones you love, knowing the cost might be everything? This episode is a masterful pivot, advancing the narrative from personal trauma to cosmic stakes. After the double premiere's emotional executions and reunions, Episode 3 slows the pace deliberately, like the calm before Hannibal's march on Rome, or the tense diplomacy before a world war. Key revelations hit like thunder. Kenjaku's plan isn't mere domination but evolution through mass awakening and merger, turning Japan into a single, optimized cursed entity. The Culling Game rules, points for kills, player-added regulations, barriers isolating colonies, are clarified with precision, dispelling fan debates from manga days. Chapters 145 to 146, adapted faithfully here with creative visuals to avoid pure monologue. Cloudy aspects, like why the game persists post-Kenjaku or Tengen's immortality, are grounded in lore. Tengen evolves every 500 years, but Kenjaku hijacked the process. No cliffhanger explosion, but the dramatic balance is perfect, building suspense like a guillotine blade poised above. I anticipate the chaos ahead. Don't you wonder how they'll add that crucial rule to escape? Yuji's guilt hangs heavy, a scar deeper than any wound, like Achilles mourning Patroclus, unable to forgive himself for the lives lost through Sukuna. Megumi's raw plea, start by saving me, exposes his hidden fractures, a boy carrying the weight of his clan's legacy and Gojo's seal. Tengen, grotesque and ethereal, feels less like a guide and more like an ancient oracle, its voice echoing the detachment of gods in Greek tragedies. Kenjaku looms larger as the ultimate schemer, body-hopping through history like a devil in Faustian bargains. And Hana Kurusu, angel, emerges as a beacon, her gentle face hiding a technique that extinguishes curses, a transformative hope amid despair. Their choices feel consistent yet surprising. No heroes yet, just survivors grappling with impossible odds. What does it mean to evolve at the cost of individuality? The episode probes power's corruption, morality in survival, and sacrifice versus hope, like Nietzsche's Übermensch born from blood, or the atomic bomb's progress over Hiroshima's ashes. Kenjaku's vision mirrors historical pursuits of utopia through Purge. Tengen's neutrality questions if immortality erodes humanity. In Yuji and Megumi's eyes, you see your own struggles, the despair of carrying burdens too heavy, the fragile hope that one light angel might pierce the void. It's not abstract, it's visceral, asking, would you enter the arena for a chance at redemption? The Culling Game enriches the universe immensely, introducing Kogane, the adorable yet ominous Shikigami guide, and reincarnated ancients like Angel. Barriers, points, rules, they complicate the world without overwhelming, turning Japan into a gladiatorial coliseum where cursed energy flows freer than ever. Sharp and weighty, the script avoids cliches, letting Tengen's exposition resonate like Shakespeare's soliloquies. Poetic in its horror, foreshadowing betrayals and battles. Lines like explanations of merger burn into memory, echoing long after, much like historical manifestos that changed the world. Mappa transforms an info-heavy episode into art. Fluid shifts between stark tombs and glowing barriers, symbolism in Tengen's fetal form, innocence corrupted, shadows swallowing faces like guilt itself. Colors mute to grays and blood reds, stillness amplifying tension. Beauty here means dread, the quiet before the storm. Wide shots dwarf the characters against Tengen's immensity. Close-ups capture trembling eyes, mirroring inner turmoil like in Schindler's List's intimate horrors amid grand evil. Editing rhythms pulse slowly, building unease. The OST haunts with subtle motifs, crescendos underscoring revelations. Silence, though, speaks loudest, like the hush after a death sentence, letting words carve deeper, standout performances. Tengen's ethereal timbre embodies ancient detachment. Yuji's voice cracks with raw guilt, Megumi's desperation trembles. They don't just deliver lines, they embody souls fracturing. I felt hollowed out, struck by the weight, like tasting ash after a wildfire, carrying scars from battles not yet fought. The climax isn't a fight but a collision of destinies. Hope in Angel versus Kenjaku's apocalypse. It left me pondering universal questions. Do we sacrifice the many for the few, like leaders in wartime? Or cling to individual light? You stand there with them in the tomb, heart pounding. Will they find her? Will Gojo return? The answers demand you watch on. Pacing drags for some, an exposition PowerPoint, as fans jest on X and Reddit, potentially confusing newcomers with dense rules. Yet I see this as deliberate. Like Tolkien's counsels before battle, it builds investment, reframing opacity as thematic depth, the fog of war in moral grayness. Measured critique. Thrilling for lore lovers, testing for action seekers, but the payoff promises to be legendary. Episode 3 excels in setup and depth, succeeding brilliantly in shifting from despair to determined hope, despite its deliberate slowness. Its strengths, profound revelations, emotional authenticity, outweigh minor opacity. Watching isn't optional. It's inevitable. The next breath in a story that mirrors your own hidden battles. Step into the game. Feel the shadows close. The light of Angel waits, but only if you're brave enough to chase it. Aren't you curious what you'd sacrifice to see it?